call order the meeting of the Travis County Facilities Corporation. It's September the 3rd, and it is 10:25. All roll.
President Robbie Meyer,
Here.
Vice President John Hernandez, Director Ann Denton, Director Eddie Karen, here, Director Wilma Roberts. Here.
Thank you. We will move to the consent agenda. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion to approve in second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is public forum, citizen communication. Do you have anyone who would like to speak?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then we will move on down the road to action item 4A, and it is resolution TCFC 2101. Resolution to approve the negotiation of the memorandum of understanding between Travis County Facilities Corporation and Versus Chin Studio LP, Cambrian Development, by the Executive Vice President.
Okay, so this is a transaction that we've been working on for about the last 6 or 7 months. It's 291 units proposed at the intersection of Koenig Lane and Lamar. Currently, there's the Texas Department of Transportation that's there. And so that will, my understanding, be torn down. The applicant has already purchased this tract of land. They did so in 2020. They have been spending lots of money with regard to the pre-development. We have discussed with them all the issues that we look for in a PFC transaction, and they have agreed to do those things. Those things being that 51% of the units will be set aside at 80%, both income and rent restricted, and have a discount off the market of at least $200, regardless of whatever the 80% rents are. And so in their proposal, they've actually showed something even deeper than 200. Again, these are preliminary numbers at this point, but shows the indication that they're willing to do that. Where we're at is we still need to kind of finalize some of the numbers because they're talking about percentages. And problem with percentages is that if the numbers change, the dollar amount will change. So what we're going to do is probably put back in hard numbers, at least this amount.
Did we run into this same problem, Chief, Decker? The same issues came up on Decker Lake or whatever.
No, Decker Loft was a bond and a 4% deal, but because this is a PFC deal and is different, this is something that we're certainly solidifying towards our policy. And you know, they have gotten, they understand it now. They're willing to do that. Kind of the difference with a PFC deal is that they have to cut the deal with us. Then they go to an equity provider, which is different than a bond and a 4% deal. And so that's why it's important for them to get us nailed down with what the, you know, what we're looking for, and then they can go to the equity provider. Again, they're spending lots of money. They're committed to do this. You know, they seem to be very professional in their approach. And so they're asking us to, you know, finalize an MOU so that they can move forward. And they anticipate, you know, early next year to be able to break ground. So.
Remind me again what the reason we put it in TCFC is. That because of TCFC?
Yes, because it's a completely different structure at 51% at 80, which is available to a public facilities corp, which Travis County Facilities Corp is one.
And so,
yeah. And all PFC deals will roll through the TCFC structure or organization. So again, this is, I guess, similar to what we did with Tech Ridge, in that we got a memorandum approved authorizing us to continue to negotiate and finalize the transaction without having to come back to the board. And we're presenting it to the board, and if the board feels comfortable with that approach, then that's what the MOU is saying. So we do need to finalize it. And we'll do so in the next 30 to 60 days.
This is in the northeast corner where DPS.
Yes,
Yes.
it is in the northeast corner.
Is this their whole campus?
It,
Or is part of their?
I think it's only one.
Because that's
Yeah,
that's
it's-
where their crime lab and everything.
yeah, so it's kind of a dog's leg type deal as far as so much on Lamar and so much on Koenig. And I think I provided the site plan in there, and if I didn't, my error, and I'll be happy to provide that and send it to you with how it's gonna lay out. But yes, there will be a demolition.
It's supposed to be in that MOU.
Pardon me?
Is the site plan supposed to be in the MOU?
Well, it's supposed to be the attachments, but I'm looking at what Keith is showing me, and I see a location map and whatever, and I'm not seeing a site plan. So I can certainly follow up and provide each of you with the site plan, so you get kind of a better layout of that it has frontage on Lamar and has frontage on Koenig, but there is somewhat of a hole. It's not a complete square corner.
Now, that little V-shaped project going up there right now, that's almost finished, probably moved, people have relocated in there.
Okay, you're talking about on the southeast side
I guess so.
of Koenig Lane? Yes, and
Yeah.
one of the things that you notice is the building is right up to the property line of the sidewalk, and apparently the parking is on the interior. But that's what you notice when you drive up, it's
Mhm.
like it's right there.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's
So
a,
that's not it, though.
no, it's just north of there on that same
Service
east side. And one of the things that I wanted to point out that you're gonna see in these PFC structures, and it's just the way it's being done, you have studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and you have a smidgen of 3 bedrooms. But majority of it's very tight square footage, and it is designed for, like the studio is 600 square feet. So it is designed for young professionals on a growth corridor, good transportation, et cetera, and then providing a certain amount of affordability over market. And this is just what's happening in Austin. It's explosive, what's going on, and the rents are explosive. And here's an opportunity to kind of offset and temper the market rents that normally would be charged on a piece of property like this as a result.
What's the average rent on those studios or something?
$1,000 a month.
Well, it was 300 when I moved here 30 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And it constantly amazes me what's happening to rents. It's just, we really are turning into, excuse me, another San Francisco. I mean, it just, and we've got to get ahead of it, and we can't build affordable housing fast enough. We just simply can't, even if we just cut loose and, we still have 60,000 units of affordable at 60 below we need to build by 2025, and we're not anywhere close to that. Another 30 between 60 and 80. So, I mean, we're doing everything we can, and certainly the building permit process takes well over a year. We're not going to meet that goal. So
Even the county is now in that. So if we
Oh.
ran into a project now where they're taking a year.
Yeah, it's so.
Robert, explain. Well, you can see, you turn around and see the things up. Okay, so the top one is saying that the market. So it's saying you're 67%, so that's all the market units up at the top?
That's correct. And you will see, and I misspoke, the studio is actually, they're showing $785 for affordable studio to go over the monthly rent, and the market is $1,152 at the top.
Okay, so we have 147 units of what you're calling it affordable units.
Correct.
And the max affordable units is 69% there. But the majority of those affordable units are 40s and 50s.
Well, that's what they're showing as a percentage based upon, what they're saying they're gonna charge in monthly rents. And it definitely, as you can see, as you compare, say, Market Studio is $1,152, and $200 less than that, they're actually charging a little bit less than 200 in rent. And, cascading down, you can see that it's even less than 200. But that's the idea. And then, of course, they're just doing a percentage at this point of 100% of AMI. So that's what I indicated, that currently they're trying to offer something more than $200 discount.
And that was my point. I'm trying to look at, the AMIs that they're trying to serve are actually
Lower.
better than what we got with Texas.
Absolutely, and that's what I said. Now, that's their intent. Now, we're in very early stages. By the time the equity provider, everybody else says, you can't make it work, or there's not enough money, and so we may have to make an adjustment, but they are going to adhere to at least 200. And so at this point, they're being even more aggressive, which certainly we shouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, we're coming for final approval. We need to be a little clear on how it is going to go forward in the final scenario. I would take that deal right there, hands down, no questions asked.
Right.
If we're going to start adjusting those in a major way, then, I would want to take a little bit more relook, and I think there's a few other members on this board that are going to.
Sure, and absolutely, we will be coming back with final numbers, which, is going to be at least 8 to 10 months from now. And they know they need to adhere to that policy. And so we will stick with that. I would love for them to be able to still be able to do what they're proposing. But we will come back to the board for a final approval. And we certainly are very attentive to making sure that it meets that.
Also,
Is that, are we done with that?
Yes, I'm complete
Okay.
with my report, unless there's other questions.
We have the,
Also motion to approve resolution.
are you running this now?
No, I thought you said.
No, I was about to call for a motion. Do I have a motion to approve? Now I understand.
You blow your other water? I offer a motion that we approve the resolution, TCFC 2021-01.
I second it. I must comment, Robbie, I've never seen Wilmer back down like that.
Well,
We're
trying to get along. I wasn't trying to
Chastise me like that.
I wasn't trying to take over anything. I'm just trying to move things along.
Okay, so we have a motion, well, I had to switch pages, I had to get back to my agenda. So, have motion and second, any other comments? Okay, so, we have an approval, all in favor, any opposed? Motion carries. I think we have, any other comments left on the agenda? If it's unfinished business, I don't think we have any of that, do we? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Move to adjourn.